I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Peter Somerville, Town Councilman.
John Bolche, Town Supervisor.
Randy Bates, Town Councilman.
Victoria Quaker, Town Clerk.
Eddie Van Auken and Brian Wood are absent. Any audience comments? If not, we'll move on to the minutes of the May 9th meeting, which I've read. I make a motion to accept the May 9th meetings, minutes. I'm sorry. Pete seconds it. All in favor? Aye, motion carried. There are no budget modifications or transfers. And once again, I'll make a motion to to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion is carried. On the old business, zoning board of appeals member. Zoning board of appeals has recommended that we appoint Kelly Vider. Unfortunately, I don't have any resume or any information, and Brian Wood sat in on that appointment. Do we want to question it, or we just want to appoint?
I would vote to appoint.
Okay, so I need a motion to appoint zoning board of appeals member Kelly Vider from 5/23/24 to 12/31/26.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Good. Sustainable growth, I brought up at the last meeting. So, Pete, you had a question, and it was an interesting question. So I pulled, I don't know if you have it in your package,
I got it.
everything that we paid sustainable growth as a consultant. It came out to $7,425, and each one of them has been for the water district.
Right.
Randy and I were at the water district meeting, and Jared was there, and it was a different topic, but it was a very informative meeting. So I just wanted you guys to have a breakdown of what we paid them and what their proposals were. Even though there's a proposal for an unsafe, dangerous building, I'm not ready to vote on that, but you have that in your package too. I want to see.
At what point did they become involved in the dangerous building? That has nothing to do with water.
Right. So they're just,
Who brought them over? Is that something you did?
no, that's something that I had sent them. New York State had a grant
Okay.
for paying for the removal of unsafe buildings.
Right.
And I asked them to look into it. They came back with this proposal. So the only, so I'm not I didn't review this enough to say if we're going to do it, but how they came into the unsafe vacant buildings is that grant that's available. And it may not even be available anymore. This is quite a while ago that I did this. So there's nothing to vote on, it's just was a discussion. Part of this is best practices, I really want, this doesn't address the grant, is what I asked them about. This proposal does not address applying for the grant. So I have some homework to do on this yet. That's why I'm not voting on or we're moving out further. Okay? The bid for the parking lot.
I can go over that, John.
That's something for
Sure.
Jason.
So Randy and I met, we spoke on the phone anyway. We came to, the thought that for this year, what we should probably attempt to accomplish is the front parking lot, the parking lot outside of my office and outside of the break room and the employee parking. We break it down into two sections. And the treatment course that we had come up with is we would like to, the section in front of Town Hall here that is relatively new pavement, would simply have an 1.5 inch type 6 overlay over top of that. Once it out in front of the highway garage and around the rest of it, we would remove the existing surface, go down 6 inches, put down road fabric, 6 inches of crusher run, 2 inches of binder, 1.5 inches of top, and do it 100% correct. The cost, I reached out to Cobesco Stone. I asked them if they would consider honoring the prices that they did. They were a little reluctant at first, but they did agree to honor, to just do that tonnage. The cost for that is approximately $55,000 in asphalt. And go ahead.
If we did the whole project all the way around,
We were at
it
97,000.
was 97.
And to be honest with you, we have a lot going on in the highway department. Breaking this down into two separate projects would free us up some time. You know, it would be a little less of a project for us to do as well. So that part of it would be probably more agreeable. I think out in front of the transfer station, we have more grade issues that are going on, there's more to deal with out there. Was that the total cost or just the cost of blacktop? Cost of the blacktop. We agreed to absorb out of the highway budget with the stone and labor, from the highway department. I didn't actually run the numbers on the tons of stone, but I know we can absorb that.
The stone costs are kind of incidental. It costs it for the asphalt in place. You know, Coastal Stone's gonna come, they're gonna truck it, they're gonna place it, roll it, finish it. So our involvement is the preparation. And the cost of that is actually is minimal cost for stone and fabric, and in-house, so. Yeah, we looked at it and thought, that a two-step process, like Jason said, it's getting into it's busy season right now, today. And there's quite a bit of prep time, particularly in the back, as you say, there's a lot of elevations that have to be changed because of the drainage. So it seemed, it was my thought that, we'd do it in 2 stages. But, do the 55,000 this year and then, do the second stage next year. Not be rushed into doing it and also not laying out a lot of money now. Do it in 2 steps.
And I think this treatment that we've come up with on this parking lot, it's done correctly then with the binder and the 1.5 inch top. It's a surface that should be durable for many years to
That's
come.
exactly what you would do if you were building a highway.
We have the funds, right?
Well, John is the keeper, but we have what?
Yeah, we got.
Yeah.
This doesn't come out of chip money or any of that.
No, and as Randy pointed out at the last meeting, we budgeted
Money for highway repairs, we could use that.
that we could use that,
Absolutely.
but
Do you wanna vote on that?
I think we should, we need to move on.
Yeah, I need to give
Move
Cobesco
on.
Stone an answer. I am going to reach out to Cobesco Stone. And, they seem to give me the, okay, but the time frame wise, I think I want to try to push this towards the end of August. Gives us some more time to finish our road work and then be in good shape to have that prepped.
Let's do it.
yeah, so I'll.
I know I pretty much know he's not against it, so.
And I think as a board, we're all for it.
Yeah, I think Brian
We
wants to.
need to keep our facility, we need to.
I think this will be a real facelift to the facility And I think it'll be a project that'll last many years to come, so.
Let's do it.
I'll make a motion to pay, as per Jason's recommendation, Randy's, the front, in front of the highway garage, back to the side along his office for approximately $55,000.
And that number is a rough estimate because it's by tons in place, so it may vary a little bit.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried, very good, that's another accomplishment, which I'm thankful for. Excuse me. Recycling report for April.
Yes, all right.
Yeah, and on the recycling report, the scrap metal numbers are not all in there, still waiting on the notification from scrap metal company, but
That's good.
I'll update it when they come in.
Hey, Jason, or Carolyn, when's the last time Kelvin sent us a check?
Been a long time.
I can ask him for a check.
Okay.
He
I
was
could
on
check.
vacation this week, so I'll touch base with him
Okay.
next week.
I think the last one was.
I don't get any confirmation, or I don't ever see the check, so that goes through Carolyn. So I know.
This one was 3,500, but I'm not sure what period of time that is.
Yeah.
But I want to just comment on that. We used to pay our recycling coordinator transport this back and forth, and the difference in price was from 5 cents if Kelvin picks it up and 6 cents a pound if we were transported. So it's definitely, I'd like to continue this as long as the pricing stays that way.
Do we need a motion for the recycling report?
I'm not sure. Well, I'll make a motion to accept the recycling report.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All right, authorize assessor hotel to attend Cornell seminar. I ask that the town board approve my request to attend the Cornell seminars, July 14th to 19th.
I don't have a problem with that.
I have estimated the total cost to be approximately $1,568. He has allotted this expense in his 2024 budget and should be eligible for reimbursement by New York State. They have been covering approximately 60% of the cost. I will submit a voucher to the state to reimburse the town upon my return. What are the Cornell seminars?
They've been doing them for years, but I guess they really help tax assessors out.
It's
New
an
laws,
education.
new rules. I think it's something that,
So it's an update seminar.
oh yeah, I think Pete has to stay up on that.
Okay. So Pete, you made a motion
Yes.
and I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Capital improvement plan. That came up last month, 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. And Jason and Randy were coming up, and I'd like to be involved too, coming up with a capital improvement plan.
Well, yeah, we haven't discussed that, but
We haven't discussed it, but we want to put things that we want to get accomplished in the next year. Things that we talked about was like the garage doors.
Right.
The waste oil furnace, which we want to do this year. We patched it to get through last year.
You guys were gonna come up with a plan that gives it dates and schedules, different repairs to be done and
No matter of importance,
right, put a sequence to it.
a sequence, so.
my suggestion would be that myself, Randy, since he's the liaison for both, yourself, get together and walk around the facility and make a list of things that we agree need to be addressed or updated. I mean, I don't know, Brian was big on wanting to have some sort of plan moving forward, and we'll prioritize what we want to accomplish.
I mean, I don't even have to walk around, I have my,
The waste oil furnace, there was a hole in the burning box that we patched up, but it's probably, it's due for replacement.
So why don't Brian and you do it?
Okay.
You have plenty to do.
I
Sure.
do.
But we can do that, the three of us.
Sure, I appreciate that. I just was volunteering to make sure that the waste oil heater scares me, because if we don't replace that and it goes down, it's gonna cost us a fortune
So I know.
Yeah.
to heat that.
We had a fair amount of trouble with it last year, but, like I said, the heater box itself is rotted, and we have patched it before, so I just think it'd be a.
Yeah, that needs to get replaced. It really does.
Because the cost of fuel.
I don't know, Randy, do you know how long that's been in service?
It was originally put in service in about 2010.
Okay.
2009, 2010.
I know the newer ones have got stainless steel fire boxes, and this one does not. It was recommended by the last postal service that we should.
Last year, 2 years ago.
Well, there's been a huge amount of oil that's gone through that.
Yeah, and then the problem too with the transfer station here is quality control on the oil and what comes in, so. People say it's oil, it's not.
Yeah, and you get a bunch of antifreeze in it and stuff, it's screwed it right up.
But it would work really well if we knew what we were putting into it.
But it's still, it's worth the hassle, it saves us a ton of money, but it's not an ideal situation like an auto shop that gets to see the oil that they're putting in.
Okay. So I just want, so that's good, I appreciate that, Randy, you, Brian, and Jason could come up with that. The other thing was, CDL training, Jason has,
I just wanted to discuss with the board, I know I had a phone call with, I did speak to Randy, yourself, about what the board's feeling was in regards to the possibility of hiring somebody without a CDL and training them. We're not really, we haven't had any qualified applicants come through the door. I do have a few potential applicants without CDLs that seem like good candidates, local people. I have not interviewed any of them, but just by phone call conversations around town. They seem like quality individuals with no commercial driver's license. And the question comes, if we hire them, how do we train them, and who is going to absorb the cost? I reached out to the driving school in Manans to get some costs involved. $3,600, 2 weeks of online training, 1 week of in-person training, in order to receive the
Yeah,
license.
they do the road test, whatever.
They do the road test. It is on a manual transmission.
That's
But
not
it's a
too,
significant, it's a
that's not too
significant
bad. I thought it
investment.
was more than that. We paid more than that.
This is, I called them just the other day, and that's what they had told me.
That's not bad.
But it is a significant investment on behalf of the town. I really don't want to become a training facility where we're hiring people, getting their CDL and watching them walk out the door. So I had some thoughts, especially after speaking with Randy and Brian. One would be to have somebody, if we were to pay for them to go through the school, have them sign a contract that says they have to work here for 2 years afterwards.
Yeah, but
The enforceability of that is
you
questionable.
legally might not be able to.
That would be a question for the lawyer. Another possibility is we do have a training position listed in the contract. Approximately $1 an hour less than what operator one makes. We could have an agreement where that trainee would have to stay in that training position for 1 year. That would recover some of the costs, not all of the costs. I'm open-minded to ideas. I just,
I think you need to investigate.
well, I think what Randy said earlier about the possibility of the union training a driver is a good possibility. I don't know any of that information now.
and the other thing Jason and I discussed was if we first hire this person, let's give them 3 or 4 months of a period of time before we start, before we pay this 3,600. So in 3 or 4 months, he's gonna know, and that the new hires know if they wanna be here.
Right.
I don't think it's wise, as soon as they start, to give them.
No, first we have to see if we want.
Yeah, I like that idea of a grace period of, let's say, 3 months where they work, they make sure their pre-employment drug test comes back clear, all of that's good. And then we would have an idea whether this individual is gonna work out prior to sending them to school. But I think there has to be some sort of plan for the new employee too. I mean, I think they don't wanna be stuck at this less rate of pay unless there's a path forward too, you know, so.
But maybe the operators union might be able to help us.
I will reach out to operating engineers on Monday.
But in any event, we have to move forward. We have to have a new hire. You know, and
I would at least like to move forward with interviewing some of these people without CDLs, but we need to have a path
that's my
forward.
point. And previously to the change in the federal law, we did our in-house training. Most of our employees came here without a CDL license, and we did training here and took them to the road test. Now we can't do that anymore. But so we have to replace that process with what Jason suggested, with outside training. So I think we need to move forward with it and do this. You have a probation period before the person starts training.
Mhm.
I think that's a good idea. And I think by doing this, we set a precedent
Yeah.
and a procedure that we can follow going forward. So we don't have to re-engineer this every time we look to hire someone.
I think it's a reasonable cost too for the investment.
I do too. I think it's
In the
reasonable.
employee,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, it's, what else can we, you know, what else can we have to do
We
something.
have to do something.
Well, what I would like to do then is move forward with interviewing these candidates, and present a plan to you, and possibly a candidate at the next meeting. And I'll have a written out plan that we can follow, but I think, a 3-month probationary period is a good idea, especially time frame before winter too, to get somebody in a truck and train, although it probably wouldn't be enough in a large truck this winter anyhow.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
All right. Very
Alright,
good.
so next.
So I'll try to draw up, some sort of plan that we can follow.
You know, tons of people, tons of companies and other, you're making an investment in an employee.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It just makes a better employee and it gets you the employee that you need or we need.
I think I'd rather hire somebody, who's excited to be here, a local
Yeah.
individual, than somebody that has a CDL just because they have a CDL. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Good with that. Any other audience comments? If not, I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you very much.